One word.
This that. Back on the map, back on the wax, back to the left, back to the back. Black shit, I'm a beast in my habitat. This that. Back on the map, back on the wax, back to the left, back to the back. Black shit, I'm a beast in my habitat. Whoa. I'm a beast in my habitat. Whoa. I'm a beast in my habitat. I'm a beast in my habitat. Shit, I'm a beast in my habitat. I'm a beast in my habitat. Shit, I'm a beast in my habitat. I'm a beast in my habitat.
Better than I dream. Bloody NBA. Scoring NFL. Wow. Foreign like a raid. Biggie so happy. Wow. Big it out my way. I might put you on my payroll. Put you on my page. I might take a bitch shopping with your money. Then go hit her. Hit her at your crib. Then come make you get it. Then I hit your sister. Answer me like sisters. Listen up, those switchers got her naked and they look straight. Wow. I'm popping, she know that I do it. I'm the coolest. I'm the realest.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Thunderdome Fantasy Weekly Report. I am the Commissioner, Evan Creel, also the Dragons GM. Big win for me this week, even though I had a big fat 0 on Thursday Night Football. I'll take it. Cam Akers, bam, that's what I think of you right there. All right, before we get into the more of this show, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the co-commissioner, the Hammerheads GM, Mr. John Creel himself. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Just got off work. Got come here to do my favorite job, the Thunderdome commissioner. Right. All right. Before we get into it, we get our next co-host in here. None other than the Angels GM herself, Miss Pam Creel. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. Always good when I get to do Dragons or Thunderdome stuff.
Dream, yeah. Right?
Building the franchise here. Thunderdome franchise. All right. It's been a crazy week. I want to apologize for last week. My phone died at the end of the show, so therefore I had to get back in here and do a quick 5-second turn the thing off before my phone died again. So I want to apologize for that. I also want to apologize for this week. There will not be a crawler because I did the whole thing and forgot to hit that save button before I backed out and came back to the thing. So I got a little frustrated and said, screw it. And, we'll do it next week.
Still working out the bugs for the new year. That's all.
Exactly. Trying to shit and forgot to save.
There's no saving that shit.
There's no saving that shit. Yeah. Went right down the toilet.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
show right there.
big week.
Okay.
Big week. I mean, lots of great games. Lots of games come, very, very close. Lots of games didn't come so close, but they were great games nonetheless. Putting up big scores already in this week one, which was something I think there was only like 4 or 5 teams that I seen that weren't above that like 225 mark. You know what I mean? but
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and that didn't even being over that didn't make you a winner. I can tell
And
you.
no, not at all.
You go up
Not
against the
at
number
all.
one team in the league, and you get your ace handed to you. So,
Well, that's the first game that we're going to get into is the
Ooh.
Thad Castle's team versus the Hammerheads. And ladies and gentlemen, the rankings are in. They have started. Thad Castle is now number 1 going into week 2. He defeated the 2020 champion, or 2021 champion, sorry. Defeated the 2021 champions. Big game, 269.92 to 230.98. This was a 38.94 point win victory for Thad Castle's team in this one.
Yeah, it was.
Just hand it to him, John.
Yeah, I felt that one all to the core.
Well, let's go ahead with top. We'll go with the top scores on the Hammerheads real quick before we get in the winning side. We got the number 1, which was DeAndre Swift, led the way for the offensive side, 26.50 points. Travis Kelce came in second with 26.10 points, and AJ Brown come in third with 25.50 points. Everything went pretty good right there.
Yeah, it's looking great.
Looking good. Defensive side, led by Von Miller, 21 points.
Yeah.
The Titans' defense put up 12 points. And then Justin Simmons put up 9.20 points. So, still good. Not great, but still good. I mean,
yeah.
All right, let's get into the winning side over here.
No.
Keeper Lamar Jackson put up 26.22 points. Clyde Edwards-Helaire put up 22.40 points, and A.J. Dillon put up 20.10 points. Now, if you're looking at both sides of the offense, you're like, well, John's 3. Yeah, well, Thad Castle's others were a little more consistent than the Hammerhead's others on the offensive side.
Yeah.
On the defensive side, Minkah Fitzpatrick goes off for 34.10 points. Bill's defense goes off for 20 points, and Marcus May has 12.50 points. So there's a little more of a lead right there, on those tops with the defense. Player of the game was none other than Minkah Fitzpatrick, who put up 34.10 points, which was more than quadrupling his projection of 8.31 points.
It's funny how Pick Six will do that for you.
Yeah. Huge. Huge. Yeah. I mean, plus a couple tackles, and a little sprinkle here, a sprinkle there, exactly. Huge game for Minkah Fitzpatrick. We'll get into another category that he gets for this week, but we'll talk about that at the end of everyone's games.
And just a shout out to my boy Sean, Roll Tide. So
yeah, and shout out to David. Huge win, man. Huge win. Come in first week and put up damn near 270.
And
first week,
he was nice enough to message me before the game, and he was like, "Man, I'm a little worried," and I can see why, because Jamal Adams went out.
Yeah.
But I still had 2 players that had to score 60 points just about to cover. So didn't happen.
Oh, Jamal Adams went out? That's okay. Minkah Fitzpatrick took care of him and 2 other people on the defense that didn't do their damn job. Like,
he did the whole secondary for him.
He took care of the whole secondary for everybody. Yeah. Well, at least 3, because you want at least 10 points from each player. So he at least took 3 people's jobs, were taken care of.
Yeah.
He took care of 3 of the 4 defensive backs. It's crazy.
But,
34.10 points.
He was gracious enough to make me feel like I was still in the game. I really do. I can't express enough to my guy how important that was to make me feel like I was still in the game, even though I kind of knew better. I hoped against hope, but
we always have a little hope. You know what I mean? You always have a little hope. You're like, this guy.
One person in the game.
Yeah. He could do 60. He could do 60. I mean, he ain't going to. He ain't going to, but he could. He could.
DK can get 60 any day of the week. Okay.
How's everybody liking the kickers so far in the first week? Is everybody liking the
Hey,
yardage thing
Well, I
now
was
instead
doing
of
great
the?
until my kicker ended up injured. I had Butker for Kansas City, so he's injured. Then I go and pick up Hot Rod from Indianapolis, only for him like the next day to get cut by the team.
Blankenship.
Yeah. So I was like, frick, man.
Well,
So yeah. Anyway,
You might do better without a kicker. My kicker didn't do good at all this week.
yeah. Well,
Was it 1 point?
I mean, neither did McManus.
I got Young Ho.
I think I got.
from Atlanta.
You went and got Young Hu from Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, if they get the ball past the 50, Young Ho's gonna kick that shit through. I mean, he don't play.
Well, I mean, it was the first game against New Orleans. I mean, he was doing a lot of the scoring for them.
Who put up the damn 60-something yard field goal this week?
Oh shit, I don't know.
Nobody on my team.
Somebody put up a 60-yard field goal. I don't know if it was college or football, but I know somebody put up a damn 60-yard field goal. I was like, holy shit.
I think that one that McManus tried was pretty long, wasn't it?
It might have been McManus. I don't know. That one that he tried was 64 yards. The one that he missed, he was 64 yards. Yeah, that shit was long.
I can remember when nobody would even try that. So
no. And it's funny because now they're like kicking 70-yard field goals in pregame, and when it gets to the game, they're like, "Nope, we're gonna punt and pin y'all back. We ain't chancing it. You can do this shit pregame."
Before we go too much further in the show, so if there's anybody that just got the notification on their messenger, feel free to drop in.
Yeah,
it don't always have to be the three of us.
Yeah, for real.
Show us some love, man.
You'll pop up on my little guest bar, and I'll bring you right on in.
That's right, Red Rover. Let's go.
All right, we'll get into game 2, which was the game of the week, which was what I called game of the week last week's episode. The number 3 Legend Killers defeat the number 8 Hendrix Mafia 261.66 to 224.98. This was a 36.68 point win margin for Legend Killers. Wasn't quite high enough to take the top of the week. It was the 4th highest win margin of the week. We'll go with the Hendrix Mafia side on this. They were led by Josh Allen, who put up 37.48 points and could have been more if it wouldn't have been sloppy receiver interceptions that got away from the receivers. They weren't on him. So that's at least 4 more points right there added. So he could have had a 40-point game this week. It's crazy. Leonard Fournette put up 15.70 points, and Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, put up 13.80 points. On the defensive side was led by TJ Watt, who is now out for 6 to 8 weeks. So everybody, you got one less defensive person to worry about on Lindsay's team because he grabbed like 5 linebackers.
Well, it makes me feel better that I didn't get him. So
Yeah. I was looking at him. And then when Lindsay grabbed him, I was like, "He's already got 5 people." What? Like,
I'm gonna say the same thing Sean said whenever we talked about it the day after. It was like, yeah, something about those Watt guys, all the bench pressing, tearing the pecs and everything else. Yep. Yeah,
and that's what he did. Yeah, he tore that pec. Second on the defensive side was Micah Parsons, who used to be on Sean's team last year. Put up 8.
Legend Killers last year.
I thought he was on Crimson Elephants last year. Or no, it was Legend Killers. You picked him up after I dropped him after the first week. Yeah. I dropped him week 1 because he didn't do nothing, and then they switched him in positions during the week, and Brandon grabbed him, and the rest is history. Went on to be defensive player or rookie of the year.
Oh, yeah.
He put up 18.50 points, so he just started off right where he was last year. Brandon Jones was his third guy who put up 17.50. So defensive side kept Hendrix Mafia in this game.
Yeah.
Legend Killers was led by two of their keepers. The first was Justin Jefferson, who put up 39.40 points, and Saquon Barkley put up 33.40 points, and his second keeper, Justin Herbert, put up 29.26 points. On the defensive side was led by Javon Holland, who put up 13.10. Nick Bosa put up 11.50, and Kevin Byard put up 10. Player of the game in this, I gave Yahoo gave it to somebody else. I gave it to Justin Jefferson, who almost doubled his projection of 19.55 points with that 39.40 points. Huge win for Legend Killers, who takes that number 3 spot. I mean, and he put up big points. You know, that's what you want, is put up big points, stay in it. You know, it's going to be harder for Angels and Sin Eaters. You know, being in 210 with us in the 260. That's 50 points right there that we already got a lead. So they got.
I love
points.
you,
I'm just saying it. It's the points are everything, and the win. Obviously, the win is the first thing, but the points is the second thing. And we'll get into that third game, which is Miss Pam's game, the Angels versus Bucks Life. Mr. Angels is the 5th place team coming in here after week 1, and she defeated Bucks Life in this game. No pilgrimage from him, or no pillaging from Bucks. Yeah, no pillaging from Bucks Life this week, as Angels take them 210.22 points to 205.02 points. This was the least.
That game was close, man.
This was the least or the smallest win margin of the week, with 5.20 points. Victory.
Definitely a nail biter.
Very close.
But great game nonetheless. And a great win for Pam starting this year off in that tough division up there. Now y'all got Thad and Ben and Chris added to it.
I know, right?
And you still got Sean to battle. That's one of the old. Oh, guess what's happening this week?
Yeah, we know. It started already. So.
Tangle in the Trailer Part 1.
Yep. We already quit talking earlier.
I have no clue who that is back there.
Bucks Life was led in this game by Devontae Adams, who put up 30.10 points. So it doesn't look like him being without Aaron Rodgers is going to be a factor this year.
No, not at all.
Kyler Murray had the second place on Bucks Life with 24.62 points, and Antonio Gibson comes in third with an even 20 points. On the defensive side, a former keeper Angel at that, right? Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
I didn't either.
I did not.
I knew him being a kicker turner, and the running back. I knew he was going to do okay, but I didn't think he was going to do 20 points in the first damn week.
Yeah.
I tried to pick him back up, but he beat me to it.
Well, on the defensive side was led by the Josh Allen with 13.50 points, Derwin James Jr. with 13 points, and Kyle Duggar with 11.50 points. I don't know why I say the Josh Allen, because Kyle Duggar. What? That's what I say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I made a mistake. I said Josh Duggar, but that's the wrong family. So it's
wrong Duggar, man, wrong Duggar.
That's a whole different show. Sorry.
Angels was led by her number 1 pick, Cooper Kupp, 32.80 points. He's picked up right back off where he left off last season.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then her first steal of the draft, and I don't mean steal as in she got it late. I mean she stole them from me. Michael Pittman Jr. Michael Pittman Jr. put up 27.10 points, and her backup quarterback, who ended up starting this week over Dak Prescott, and is now going to be the starting quarterback for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts put up 24.72 points. So huge pickup with that backup quarterback.
Yeah, major. I mean, it was a good call as far as trying to get somebody, especially that late,
Yeah.
Worked out great.
I mean, I'm looking dumb, you know. Jeff got Joe Burrow and then was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna take Trevor again. Like now, I'm hoping Trevor
Well,
come
I mean,
along. You know,
he's got his bumps
I'm
and
just worried
bruises.
that Jags defense. The offense is okay. It's not. I mean,
Well,
there's going to
you
be
know,
some problems on the offense. Obviously, the offensive line is still, you know,
yeah.
but at least it's better than what it's been the past couple of years.
Well, they look more like a formidable team. Now, I mean, it's hard to gauge because we're talking about
Yeah,
the
one game.
Commanders.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. We'll see this week against the Colts.
yeah, exactly.
We'll see if we can bounce up and have another either close game like we did at the end of last week, or
Yeah.
if we get blown out.
Well, you know, we've got Oliukin.
Oh, look at a little God, yeah. Number one on the defensive side for Angels was Nick Bolton, who put up 12.50 points. Greg Rousseau put up 12 points, and Patrick Queen put up 8.50 points. So offense led their way to victory for Angels this week. How you feeling about that win? We've got our next guest, Mr.
no.
Cush Crushers GM himself, Josh Miller. How you doing, sir?
Miller.
What's up? Okay.
Hello?
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 Is this thing on?
Well, he'll be back soon.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for joining the show, caller.
We'll see you later.
Thanks, caller.
He's like, I meant to go watch this show.
Oops, I hit the wrong button. That's the wrong channel.
Oh, excuse me. I just burped like crazy over here. Well, that's the
Oh.
first half of the games for week one. We'll flip the old book over and get to the second half of the games. How
back
you feeling
old
about
school.
that victory? I mean, you just beat
It's good to
past
start over.
champion.
No, it's
You
good
just-
to win. Don't get me wrong, but it was close. I mean, it was definitely a nail biter.
It's definitely a nail biter. I mean, 5 points.
I mean,
5.20.
I woke up the next morning and thought I lost. John's like, nope, you didn't.
Well, she said,
See,
I
I
had a
haven't even
dream
looked
I
at-
lost.
I haven't even looked at the scores since yesterday. So all these scores that I'm telling you might be different.
Well,
I mean, I've got the
I don't have my
handy-dandy
phone or
out
I'd look.
there.
Uh-oh, he's back.
Miller.
I don't know what the hell's going on, bro. I can barely hear you. I got me sounding like some
Oh.
fucking Mickey Mouse shit.
I feel a little left out. Everybody's got their league shirt on but me. I've
You
seen
good,
this.
Miller?
I'm driving. I'm going to the corner store with my Kush Crusher shirt on. I don't give a fuck.
I take mine everywhere. People
I
look at me like,
wore
what
mine to
the
work.
fuck are you wearing?
I wore
I
mine
wore
to work
mine
As
the
soon
other
as I
day.
get a jersey, I'm rocking that shit everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Jersey? Damn right. Mine's up there. Well, we're already done with the
Right,
first half of the games.
That's so
You are-
weird.
You are just in time for the fourth game of the week.
Disconnected from.
What? And Pam was in the middle of talking, wasn't she? Whenever we put him back
No,
on.
we were done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she said she was really happy. She won.
I'm
And
good,
it was
man.
a
It was
nail
great.
biter.
As nail biter. That's right.
And I had mentioned that she had told me that she had a dream she had lost.
I thought I lost it.
Yeah. I was like,
What did I
yeah.
get for thinking?
I
Oh,
was
that's right.
into it.
That's right. And then I said, well, all of our scores that I'm telling you now might be different because it is a Thursday, so
Mine
they
was
might have
gonna look
changed. You know what I mean? I
better
did all
be.
this. I did all this last night before I went to bed, and then when I tried to do the scroller today because we'd had a show last night on From Your Standpoint, so I wasn't able to do the crawler last night. So now I don't have a crawler because I'm an idiot. No.
Screen looks naked without a crawler.
It's all right.
Everything looks pretty much the same.
Well, we'll get into the fourth game of the week,
Why the
which
fuck
was
is the game on Prime? By the way, thanks NFL.
Hey, it's a new deal. It's a new deal that they.
I'm mad. I'm mad too.
This-
That's
this
some dumb
year.
shit. Like I'm not paying Amazon Prime any money to watch football. I
told you
I'm
you can
at
log
the-
in.
I know, but I don't. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do something at the end of the as soon as the end of the Ring of Power. As soon as the first series is over with that,
Yeah.
the Rings of Power or whatever
Rings
that
of
the Lord of the Rings show is. As
Yeah.
soon as that show is done with the season 1, I'm gonna rent it. I don't need to be talking about this live, guys. We'll talk
Okay.
about this later.
Football, damn it.
Y'all talk football. I gotta go check on
Anyway, all right.
I'll be right back.
Did
Well,
you
we're
hear
going
what they're
with the-
doing next year?
What's
Like
that?
they're canceling the Sunday ticket apparently, and they're gonna
Yeah, and it's
they
gonna
got a
be on.
contract with
It's,
Apple TV. That
Yep.
fucks me
and that's
over
gonna
big time,
that's gonna
bro.
be stupid too because I don't have an Apple. I have Samsung.
You know how many
Yeah,
people
me
they're
too.
cutting out, bro? Like there's
Yeah.
so many people in this world that do not like Apple.
Yep,
Especially
I
in
hate
the
Apple.
country.
Apple's retarded.
I think there's 3 of us right here.
Apple's retarded. I'm not.
Talking
I'm not.
about the
When I
and
read that, I was like,
I
well,
apologize. I apologize for that word. They're not that. They are definitely the
They're
worst
wonderful,
company.
wonderful
They're the worst company ever created. That's what they are.
yeah,
I hate that other
Okay.
word because some people are actually mentally challenged, and they're not mentally challenged. They're just evil, horrible corporation. All right, we're getting into this Dragons game, and we won. Dang it!
Well, you guys talk
The
about
Dragons
that.
beat the Cush Crushers.
I'll be right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll be
I
back.
know he
I'm
was.
not
I
leaving.
knew he was gonna leave. I knew he was gonna leave.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
He's gotta go do some stuff. He'll be right back.
No, I'm talking about Miller. I knew Miller was gonna leave.
Why did he leave?
Because as we talk about that Cush Crushers getting beat this week.
Oh.
The
Okay.
number 2 Dragons. I took the number 2 spot this week. 264.62 to 199.18. This was the largest win margin of the week. 65.44 points. Put it on them. The Dragons laid claim to the old Cush Crusher this week.
You put the smack down hard.
I
Didn't
put the smack down on him, and I had to because he just left on me, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Anyway, Cush Crushers was led by Kirk Cousins, who put up 23.08. Kareem Hunt put up 23 even, and Jerry Jeudy put up 20.20. On the defensive side, they were led by Harrison Smith, who put up 13 points. Daniil Hunter put up 10.50 points, and the Colts defense put up 10 points. On the Dragons side of this, Mr. Joe Burrow, who was negative points at halftime, led the way with 22.22 points. Joe Mixon came in second, with 21.50 points, and Amon-Ra St. Brown put up 20.40 points. That's another player that at halftime was at like 1 point or something like that. I was like, oh my God. I was feeling so bad about my keeper selection this week because Derrick Henry didn't break above 10 points at halftime. Amon-Ra St. Brown had like 1, and Cam Akers had already played and had 0. I was like, oh my God. I can't believe this is my keepers right now. But Amon was able to get 20 and finish it off, so I was happy with that. On the defensive side, oh, wait a minute. Last game. Gosh, doggone it. I missed something on the last game. Last game's player of the game was none other than Michael Pittman Jr., who put up 27.10 points, who was well over his projection of 15.54 points. They had it as some other player, but I didn't like that. I didn't think that was fair because he didn't even have 10 points. So I was like, why is he player of the game? So I switched it and put Michael Pittman Jr. as player of the game because he almost doubled his projection.
I'll take it.
Player of defensive side for the Dragons was led by Myles Garrett, who put up 26 points. Devin White put up 22.50 points, and the Dolphins defense, who I picked up on a whim because I didn't think that the Rams was going to do good against the Bills, put up 19 points. So that was freaking awesome for me. Like, I couldn't believe how that played out for me. I was like, wow. Because you picked up Tennessee on a whim, thinking they were going to put it on New York, and it didn't work out the same for you.
No, I only got 12 out of them.
Oh, so it did work out then. 12's bigger.
Wasn't too bad.
Anything
2 more than what you start with.
For a defensive player. Oh, yeah, but anything for defense or team defense, 10 or above is good in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
My player of the game was none other than Myles Garrett, who put up that 26 points, who was well over his doubling his projection of 11.27 points. 11.27. I don't know why I'm doing individual numbers like that. Next game was the Sin Eaters versus the Crimson Elephants, and this was the second largest win margin of the week. This was a win margin of 208.60 to 162.30.
All right, Evan, before you
I
get too far into this, I got to go.
Well, we're going to say goodnight to Miss Pamela K.
I gotta
Creel,
go
the
get
Angels
Evan to
GM.
bed. That's cool. Sorry.
Yeah, next time add an S to your angel
I
down there.
noticed that. I got
You're the Angel GM.
I was in a hurry.
You an angel?
I
Oh. Well, you have a great
right,
night,
guys.
and I can't wait to see you next week. Well,
All right,
we'll
y'all have
talk.
a good
We'll
night,
talk
guys.
before then, not for football, but
I'm sure we will. Good night,
bye.
all. Bye.
Toodaloo.
All right, and then this game was 208.60 to 162.30, and on the Crimson Elephant side, they were led by Tua Tagovailoa, who had put up 16.80 points. Christian McCaffrey put up 15.70 points, and Marquise Brown put up 14.30 points. On the defensive side was led by Bradley Chubb, who put up 23 points. Trayvon Walker, Mr. Rookie #1 pick, put up 18.40 points.
Yeah,
And the
hey, and that was an
49ers
awesome pickup.
defense. Well, I was like, man. I was thinking about grabbing him too. So whenever he picked him up out of free agency, I was like, or no, he drafted him late, didn't he?
Yeah, he ended up
I think he drafted him
really
late. Yeah,
And to be honest, I forgot about him.
I did
just
too.
forgot all
Once
about it.
Josh Allen flew off the board, I was like, oh, whatever, never mind. You know what I mean? I was like, 49ers defense was the third, can't say person, the third
people
to score high on their defensive side with 9 points, and they lost, which is crazy. They lost to the Bears, and they still put up 9 points in fantasy, which is
Darnell Mooney didn't have a very good game. I mean,
he didn't
none of
have
the
a game.
receivers really had a good game with Chicago.
Other than Pettis with his 54-yard touchdown or whatever the heck it was.
He was like the only one, yeah.
And that was the only reason why he had a good is because it was a 54-yard touchdown. That's 11 points right there.
Yeah, well, the weather in Chicago was horrible.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
they
it was
only
bad.
attempted 12 passes, so I mean, it was just
it was crazy. They were like sliding all over the place.
Yeah, but the sad part about it was I have Fields as my backup, and he had more points than my starting quarterback. It was insane.
Oh yeah, Brady. Well, I forgot. Senators. This was the second highest win margin. They won this win by a 46.30 point win margin. So second highest of the week. And they were led by their keeper Jamar Chase, who put up 29.90 points. Mike Evans, who put up 19.10 points, and Chris Boswell, kicker, who put up 14.10 points over in Pittsburgh. On the defensive side was led by none other than Khalil Mack, who had an excellent week across from Joey Bosa, putting up 30.50 points.
Yep.
Camus Gruger Hill put up 20 points, and Cameron Hayward put up 11 points. That Camus Gruger Hill, boy. I know Ben had him last year, and it got me every dang time. Camus Kruger, like KKH, and it's KGH. Grugier Hill. Grugier? I don't know. It's
make it sound pinky up,
It does. That's what I was thinking.
It's
Grugier Hill. Grugier Hill. Yeah. That's funny. And player of this game was none other than Khalil Mack, who put up 30.50 points, well over quadrupling his projection of 7.53 points. So huge game for Khalil Mack. Last game of the week. Last year's last two teams of the league. Now 4th place, and 9th place. The 4th place Orange Crush come out with a victory, 233.50 over the Pigskin King, 208.30, who is now ranked 9th place. They were led by the Pigskin King was led by Stefan Diggs with 26.20 points. Calling him King over here because of them. Well, I mean, they're all Pigskin Kings on this team, obviously. So anyway, Stefan Diggs led the way with 26.20. Russell Wilson put up 19.80, and Javonte Williams also put up 19.80. On the defensive side, they were led by Jordan Hicks, who put up 19.50. Joey Bosa put up 15.50, and Anton Winfield Jr. put up 14 points. So that means between Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, they put up 46 points between two people.
Wow.
Oh,
they're strong.
I'm glad we're not playing like 32-man team fantasy, you know what I mean? I would hate to have been playing against the Chargers this week with Justin Herbert, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack. Like
the Bills defense.
The Bills, So yeah,
there was a lot. Hell, Tampa Bay held Dallas to 3 points, made them look sickly.
Yeah, but I mean, how many points did Tom Brady put up?
12, but I mean that's
okay. Justin Herbert put up what 29 points, 29.6, 26. Yeah. That's a little bit different. No, we were talking about the whole team. If we were being if we had a 32-man fantasy team, you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like, I mean, the Bucs would have did damn good. The defensive side would have basically helped win the game for you that week.
All they did was run it down Dallas's throat, because I think that was the most yardage I've seen out of Fournette since he got to Tampa.
Since Jaguars, since Jaguar rookie year. All right, we'll get to the last winning sets, and that'll be on the winning side of this game, which was Orange Crush. Mr. Patrick Mahomes put up 44.90 points. Jonathan Taylor put up 27.50 points, and Devin Duvernay put up 23.10 points. On the defensive side was led by the Chargers defense, who put up 15 points. So that's 60 points between Khalil Mack and the two. That's crazy. Jonathan Allen led the way. Had second place with 13 points, and Eddie Jackson put up 12.10 points. Yahoo put player of the game for Eddie Jackson, who almost doubled his projection of 6.28 points with that 12.10 points. I put player of the game at Devin Duvernay, who put up 23.10 points, well over his projection of 16.55.
Yep, it's good to have one of those guys.
Yes, it is.
Return yards,
and receiving yards, exactly. And he had that touchdown as well. So
that's like I said about McCole Hardeman. You know.
Yeah, Nicole. Yeah, that was a huge pickup. Whoever got that.
Pam.
Was that Pam? Yeah, that was a huge pickup because I had him on my board.
I think she had him as a keeper. No. I take that back.
She got him late. She got him late because he was on my board.
Keeper.
Yeah, he was on my board, and I was like, ooh. He was sneaking down there, and I was like, ooh. And then whenever it got to my pick, I was looking for him, and he was gone. All right, so we'll get in. We'll get into my new little segment, which is Player of the Week.
Player of the Week.
We're going to do Offensive Player of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week. And you know what? For the hell of it, we're also going to do Coach of the Week. But I haven't done Coach of the Week. We're going to do that between me and John together. So,
well, it's not me. I didn't win.
Well, there's only two options in my mind for Coach of the Week, and that would be David and Brandon. They both put up 260 points or more.
Yeah.
They both had tough opponents.
Yeah. So what are you trying to say? You didn't have a tough opponent? You scored 260.
I had a tough opponent. Yeah. I had a tough opponent. I had a past friggin' champion, but I don't vote for myself. I don't ever vote for myself for any of that crap.
Well, I vote for me because I had to go against the number one team. And then I didn't win. I put up 230
No,
points.
no. You went up an unranked team, and then now they number one because of what they did to you. Don't try to. You didn't go up against the number one team. Now they are number one. You were the number one team if we want to talk about it that way.
Yeah, okay, fair
Mr. Champion.
Hey, I started out the same way last year, okay? 0-1.
And the year before that, you were like 0-3, and then went on some
Yeah.
ridiculous run. So you're never out of it. You're never out of it.
We're not going to say that.
I'm gonna vote. Oh man. I'm gonna vote that. I mean, he beat the number one team. Brandon beat the number two team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they're right there.
I got to,
But
well, because I got my tail handed to me and I still managed to be the fifth leading scoring team in the league last week. I got to go with David as well because I mean it was just a beat down from the word go, pretty much.
yeah, I mean, Lindsay is only 6 points behind you. Literally dead 6 points. You had 230.98. Lindsay had 224.98.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who's right there? Oh, and the point margin victory of the Pigskin Kings versus the Orange Crush was a 25.20 point win margin for the Orange Crush. Forgot to mention that. And I already did player of the game of that. So, all right. So, yeah, Mr. David Godinez, congratulations. You got week one week one coach of the week.
Yep.
Week one. All right. Offensive player of the week goes to drum roll. Brandon Green's keeper, Justin Jefferson, who put up 39.40 points, well over his projection of 19.55. And the runner-up was Brandon Green, Saquon Barkley, who put up 33.40 points. Yeah, he had a huge game. On the defensive side, player of the week was none other than Minkah Fitzpatrick, who is coach of the week's player. Minkah Fitzpatrick put up 34.10 points, well over his projection of 8.31 points. I mean, quadrupled his projection of 8.31 points.
Way over.
Runner-up on the defensive side was the Sin Eaters' Khalil Mack, who also quadrupled his point projection with a 30.50. So that's it for that segment. Congratulations to those three. David Godinez. Actually, it's just those two. David Godinez with Coach of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week, and Brandon Green with Offensive Player of the Week, Justin Jefferson. Now we'll get into the Week 2 matchups. The number one team, Thad Castle's team. That's kind of weird saying that because he's got team in his name. The number one, the number one Thad Castle's team versus the number 6 Sin Eaters. So big game. Somebody's already going to lose their 1-0 record right off the bat with those two. So, and these two are used to playing each other and used to playing each other in tough matchups.
I mean,
so it's gonna be a big game. After. I'm going to call this game of the week. After looking at everybody else's games, I'm going to call this one game of the week.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the only games where it's 1-0 teams going against each other.
Oh, okay.
So, write that right there. Game of week.
See, the dog did not agree.
Yeah, she doesn't like it.
She's pissed.
Her mommy's probably home.
Oh, okay. I'm doing a fucking show back here.
I'm doing a show, dog. Shut up. Anyway, that's funny. All right, the second game is the number 2 Dragons versus the number 8 Hendrix Mafia. So another big game this week.
God.
I mean, another big game.
They keep coming. I mean, it's all
it don't
long,
stop. All of them. It just keep rolling over. I swear we got these crazy games every damn week.
For real. I mean, you never know what it's going to end up being.
All right, number 3 game of the week is the number 3 Legend Killers versus the number 9 the Pigskin King.
What?
I wrote down the pigskin skin.
Not the pigskin skins.
The pigskin skin. Like, what the hell was I thinking?
Hello.
Let's take that S off and put a G at the end of it, and we'll be good. There we go. The Pigskin King versus the Legend Killers. Number 3 versus number 9. Another good game. Another good matchup. These are the 2 newbies. Well, they're not new anymore. They're both.
Yeah, they're
But they
kinda
both came in,
seasoned now.
and, yeah.
They're kind of seasoned a little bit.
Kind of seasoned now, exactly. All right, we got the 4th game of the week, which there's a pattern here. It's the number 4 team, Orange Crush, versus the number 11 Kush Crushers. Surprise! This is the number 4 team for the 4th game of the week. It's because I put them in order, people. The only one that won't be in order is the last one, because number 6 team played the number 1 team, so that's going to be a little bit. Anyway, the number 4 Orange Crush versus the number 11 Kush Crushers. So the 2 Crush teams are going against each other this week. Another big
Battle
game.
Of the Crush.
The Battle of the Crush.
Is it Orange or Kush? Crushers.
Well, is it getting high, or you're already there and you need something to drink? So, let's see what happens. Oh man, Orange Crush. That's crazy. I wonder where he got that.
It's a drink, man.
I know it's a drink, but Jesus, you think he's named his game? He's like, you know what? We're gonna go after a drink. And guess what? Orange Crush is not the name of the drink. It's just Crush. It's not Orange Crush.
Flavor.
It's the flavor.
Orange.
It's the only flavor. It's the only flavor Crush has got.
They have other
funny.
flavors, but they don't put them in the store. That's all. It's hard to find.
All right. Next game is the 5th game of the week, which is the Tangle in the Trailer Part 1. Number 5 versus number 7. The Angels versus the Hammerheads. We'll see if Angels can keep her big wins going against another big team like she did last week against Bucks Life, or if Hammerheads are going to try to right their ship and get back in track in that winning column. We'll see how that goes.
I'm always trying to write it, Whenever I stumble, I try to
This is also
keep going.
This is also Office Battle number 1.
I believe so, yeah.
This is Office Battle number 1, and it's also Tangle in the Trailer Part 1. So
we get a 2-for-1 on that one.
you get a 2-for-1. And the last game of the week will be the number 10 Bucks Life versus the number 12 Crimson Elephants. Both of these teams are 0-1, so let's see who's going to come out on top.
Who's going to get their first win?
Get their first victory, yeah. Either way, somebody's coming out 1-1.
I know Sean was making moves. He was not happy with his defense. He wasn't happy with some of the
some of them played out though. Some of them played out.
Some of them did, yeah. But he wasn't happy with how some of his offense performed. It was just So he's already trying to make moves, trying to get it better.
And I expect nothing less from any of my managers in this league. That's why I love this league. We're all so competitive. We don't want to be in that bottom six.
Trying to do something to move.
Exactly. So as soon as a player gets 0 for the week, we're like, drop.
I'm not gonna lie.
I've got Alec Pierce and Pierce Campbell on my bench, and I'm wanting to drop them so bad, but I'm like, don't do it, Crew. Don't just give them one more week. Give them one more week before you.
I started a guy on opposite of Justin Jefferson. Guess how many points he had? 6.
Thielen? Yeah,
he had 6.
That's
I had
crazy,
Julio
man.
Jones sitting on the bench with 11. I said, okay, I like Julio a little bit better, so I'm putting him in. So we're going from there.
Julio. Yeah, Julio's getting some looks, man. I like that.
I like the connection. Yeah. Plus, think about who they're playing this week. I mean, you got Tampa. They're going into the Dome, playing against New Orleans.
Oh yeah, my last segment. That was my third segment. My last segment is top waiver looks. I mean, they're probably not going to be available in our league, but as far as fantasy, top waiver looks for this week. Number 1, DeAndre Carter for the Los Angeles Chargers. Keenan Allen is out.
Yeah.
Number 2, Jeff Wilson Jr. for the San Francisco 49ers. Eli Mitchell is out.
Yep.
And number 3 is stay away from Pittsburgh defense. TJ Watt is out. And last year,
why are you saying that? I'm not banking on TJ Watt.
And last year, Pittsburgh without TJ Watt did not win. That's why I say that.
Well, you know why I picked up Pittsburgh defense?
Why?
Look who they're playing this
Miles Jack. Oh, they're playing, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot matchup. So, yeah, I forgot matchup. So we'll take that third one out. Scratch that matchup. They got a good matchup this week. I'll give them that.
Anybody that's playing the Jets is pretty much
I'll give them that.
sure to have a pretty good defense. I'll tell you somebody else, and you know, I kind of had an eye on them, and somebody that you haven't mentioned. Let's go back and look at what Richie James with the Giants. Richie James Jr.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's
so
a good
anybody,
one.
You know,
That's a good one, and he might be available out there. He might be.
If I'm not mistaken, he was available last time I checked. But yeah, he would be good for somebody in need of a receiver that can, you know, that can return yardage and everything. So yeah, he got good yardage. I mean, good.
Oh, and also best sleeper pick of the draft, in my opinion, is Jarvis Landry. Whoever got him, way to go. He lit the fuck up. Like,
Angels.
Jesus.
And she is having a hard time trying to trying to put him into the game this week. She already made mention. I can't figure out where I'm gonna put him. So I was like,
that was a huge pickup. I don't know what it is about him and Jameis being together, but
yeah, he had a big game. He had
a big game.
He
had like, I think it had like 19 points up.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me see what she had on her. Yeah, she could have had 19 points because her league leaders or her team leaders were well over that. They were 24 or higher. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the player of the week and the defense player of the week every week. Well, that's basically gonna be the top player other than a quarterback. I don't really like giving it to quarterbacks because quarterbacks get more fantasy points than other players anyway because they're quarterbacks. They handle the ball. They're throwing it constantly and they're doing their thing all day long, all game long.
All right, for those of you that don't have Amazon Prime, Chiefs are up 10-6.
Oh, so the
Chiefs. Yeah. The Chiefs actually just scored a touchdown.
Chargers are up. Who's playing the Chiefs?
Chargers are up on the Chiefs.
On the Chiefs, 10-6.
Yeah.
Chiefs just scored.
Let's see who it was. I think that was Hardeman, as a matter of fact, that scored.
Oh, lucky Pam.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Oh yeah, you're playing. Dang, the trailer's not starting off good for you.
No.
All right, well that's been week 2 of Thunderdome Fantasy Weekly Report. We'll be back next Thursday with week 3.
And maybe we'll results. Maybe we'll have some more people join in. Feel free, guys. You know, I know everybody's got their own stuff to do, but feel free to poke in if you have a chance.
I want to thank Josh Miller for poking in for a couple minutes.
That was fantastic.
I want to thank Pam for poking in for a couple minutes.
That's right. We got our usual.
I want to thank my co-commissioner for, as usual, showing up like he always does.
Just trying to be there. Because nothing I like more than talking fantasy.
Yeah, damn right. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I'm fixing to figure out how to get that game on, which we're going to talk backstage after I end this. That way we're not live.
Giving it out to everybody.
Give it out to everybody. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Thank you for tuning in. If you're on to the YouTube page, hit that subscribe button for me. Whether you're in the league or not, check us out. If you want to join the league, we can
There may
push.
be
We
opportunities.
can put you on a waiting list that we have. There may be opportunities. Not obviously not this year, but maybe in the future. Maybe if there's even enough, we might build a second league and
go from there.
go from there or something. But we'll let that future talks come as the future comes.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take all that as it comes along, or if it comes along.
If we have enough players on the wait list, we could, entertain a second league. We'll have to see. But as for now, nothing beats the Thunderdome.
Nothing beats the Thunderdome. Thunderdome Fantasy. 12 teams enter, 1 leaves a champion. We've had 5 past champions. I about said 4, but we just had our 5th champion. I keep pointing the wrong direction. Right over here. This guy. This guy over here, the 5th champion. I'm the number 2 champion.
Yep.
He's the 5th champion. Number 3 champion is Mr. Chris. Nope.
Yeah, it was
Chris Hawley. Chris Hawley.
The
Number 4 champion was Josh Miller. And the number 1 champion is
would be the
Stevens Trophy champion, Sean Stevens himself.
That's right.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Out.